Good morning. This is Carolina from State Adventures. I'm excited to show you what we can do in the Galapagos. There are so many different options, so I know it's hard to narrow down. So let's discuss two itineraries that I have put together for you. I have a third one in the works, but I'm going to share my screen and we can just take a few minutes to go through these two yachts that fit everything. They have 5 cabins available for your party of 10. They are within the date schedules that you had between February or March. Both of these are in February, and these hit majority of the islands, and I will show you on the map as well and tell you a little bit more about the Galapagos and how to choose a routing, and what's important. So let's go through the first one. It will be with the Calypso yacht, a 16-person yacht. And that's a small ship, 8 cabins, great crew, very laid back boat. The way we will start the trip is February 24th. You're going to all fly into Quito, Ecuador. Quito is in the Andes. It's an amazing city full of culture. And we will spend 3 nights here before the cruise. Of course, you tell me, can you be away for 11 days? The cruise is 8 days, then with 3 days in the mainland. So if you want a shorter trip, we can certainly cut this down to 2 nights. You do need some kind of buffer before going to the islands. So I suggest 3 nights so you get a good glimpse of the Andes. And then, of course, in the Galapagos, we don't have to go away for 7 nights. If we are over budget, if the dates don't work and you need something simpler, we can definitely do something like a 5 night itinerary or a 4 night cruise. There are plenty of options to choose from. So February 24th, you're going to arrive in Quito, big sign for your family, private cars that will take you right to your hotel. I chose a historic, beautiful property where we will stay for 3 nights. But of course, if we're over budget, we can change to a 4-star property. And here we will spend 3 nights so that we can focus February 25th on Quito itself. So the overlooks, the equator line, the cathedral, do some chocolate tasting, have a beautiful lunch in town, really get to know this colorful, vibrant city. And then February 26th, I'm going to whisk you away out of the city, down the Avenue of the Volcanoes to Cotopaxi. This is a active volcano. This volcano is surrounded by lagoons, by hiking trails, by markets and indigenous communities. There are haciendas that are right here in the park where we will spend some time, get on horses, go riding or go hiking if you don't want to ride horses, have a traditional Andean lunch and return back to Quito in the evening. This will really give you a good sense of the mainland of Ecuador before we head to the islands. So February 27th, private car takes you to Quito Airport. There we have an assistant that will walk you through all the Galapagos requirements. So there is an ID card that you need. There is an entry ticket that you need to pay. You need to go through customs. You need your shoes and your bags checked for seeds and anything that might disrupt the agriculture in the Galapagos. So lots of lines, lots of chaos, lots of people going to the islands every day, especially in February, which is peak season. So again, touching on the time that you're going, January, February, and March to me are the busiest and best times to visit because the water is extremely calm and warm. So no one needs wetsuits during snorkeling and swimming, which makes a huge difference because if we were to shift the dates to something like August, the water is frigid. People still get in and you do all the activities, but you need to wear wetsuits every day. So these winter, spring months are very popular. And of course, because of spring break, because of holidays, they will be filled up very quickly. So the Calypso does have 5 cabins available for us. And once you arrive, they pick you up and they take care of everything. So all of your meals are on board. You have 5 cabins. They're all the same. They look like this. You can choose 1 bed or 2 beds, private bathrooms, of course. On board, there's a hot tub, there's indoor and outdoor dining, there's all sorts of activities that the crew arranges in between tours. But of course, you're going to the Galapagos for the tours themselves. There's one naturalist guide on board, and every day you're going to get off at least 2 times to go into the water, to go on the islands, wet landings, dry landings, and all sorts of activities. Everything is included. What is not included in the Galapagos is alcohol and gratuities. So we can discuss those once we narrow down which boat we choose. So that is what the Calypso offers. They have kayaks and they have a wonderful itinerary. So check it out. I've put all the islands that they will be visiting. So you've mentioned two islands. You've mentioned Genovesa and you've mentioned Isabela. So Isabela is on the west side of the archipelago, and Genovesa is really in the north. So there is not one itinerary where a boat will go to both Genovesa and Isabela. So you kind of have to choose. Now, why would you choose one over the other? Really, there is no bad itinerary in the Galapagos. I would really base my itinerary and choose my itinerary based on dates, not an island, for two reasons. Every island is different. Every island is fantastic. I have been to the islands many times and I have never had a bad itinerary. Isabela is the largest island. It has lots of active volcanoes. It's very rugged, but it's quite popular and a lot of people go there. So it's not like off the beaten path by any means. The central islands are really fantastic and they're on most itineraries. And that's because every island is different. Red sand beach, white sand beach, black sand beach. You will see them all within one day. And Genovesa up in the north, that is quite a remote island and it is known for bird life. There are birds on Genovesa that are not anywhere else in the island. So that's kind of fun. However, the reason I say don't have your heart set on a specific island is because this is a highly protected archipelago. And if anything is off, if the scientists see any activity of the wildlife a little bit different or acting up, they shut down the island and not allow anybody to visit. And that happens throughout the year. So if your itinerary has Genovesa on it, but there's an attack of the bird flu or the birds are acting up or penguins are not coming out, they will close that site and not allow boats to go there for 2 or 4 weeks. So, and then you would be rerouted to another island. So you don't lose touring, but it might be a little bit different. And that's all up to the captains and the government. It's very, very protected and very strict. And that's what makes the Galapagos so fantastic. But every day you're going to get into the water, you can snorkel, you can go to the beach, you can snorkel right off the sand, you can snorkel jumping off the penga. Everything is arranged for you. There's a team that will be in the water with you, so you're never alone. It's very well organized and a very leisurely pace. So there's still plenty of time to enjoy the boat itself. So that is the Calypso, 7 nights. And then the last day is March 6th. We take you back to the mainland. You can choose to fly home from Quito or Guayaquil and then fly home. So that's the first option. The second option that is available is the Anaí. And the Anaí is a catamaran. It's also 8 cabins. It's also 16 people, but it's a very unique boat because it's a catamaran. So it's very stable. It has square cabins. So it has some of the larger cabins amongst, yachts versus catamarans. And the Anaí has been in the water here for many years. I have been working with the Galapagos 19 years, and I remember them dearly. It's a family-run business, and Anaí is actually the owner's daughter's name, so that's why he named this boat. It just went through a complete transformation and renovation, so it's very fresh and very popular. So I'm actually surprised that I was able to locate 5 cabins for you. But the dates are a little bit earlier. So you see February 2nd, and we do the same thing. February 2nd, we fly into Quito. We have 3 nights of touring in Quito. And then February 5th, go to the islands. Anaí has the same kind of amenities. It has the kayaks. It has the stand-up paddle boards. It has a jacuzzi on board. It has a really wonderful team. Again, barefoot yachting here. It's not a high-end upscale cruise at all. It is all about the experience, all about the wildlife. It's a catamaran. It's been renovated, so it's quite smooth. This is big because the smoother the travel, the faster you go. So you can visit quite a few islands. So I chose to show you this because this itinerary does not go to Isabela, but it does go up to Genovesa. So that is something that you really had your heart set on. Then we need to discuss Anaí because it fits your needs. And as you see, it goes from the central islands up to Genovesa in the north, to the east and to the south. So you're going to visit islands completely different from what Calypso offered. Again, you have the kayaks, you have the adventures, you have snorkeling and swimming every day. The itineraries are all set by the government, not by the boats themselves. So you have the same kind of experience regardless of where, of which boat you visit. And then the guides are all fantastic. They all come from the same kind of Galapagos Academy, so they all have the same requirements to become a guide. It's quite an amazing job. Once they have it, they usually stay for life. So there's no bad itinerary to choose from. I wanted to start with these two boats so that I can show you what works, what doesn't with boats. I am working on a third itinerary, and that one is a mix of boats and hotels. So the Galapagos has 3 islands that have villages on them and have hotels on them. So it's quite easy to stay in a hotel and do day tours, or because there's 10 of you, I'm working on renting a yacht that will take you from place to place on a private yacht, but you would sleep in a hotel. A lot of the times, island hopping this way helps the budget, but also we're able to put together an itinerary that includes Isabela and Genovesa. And and that way we have a lot more control over what islands you visit. So stand by. I will send you that one as well. But let me know what you think about the Calypso and the Anaí. I'm here to answer any questions. Thanks so much for taking the time to listen, and happy travels.